Good morning to everyone. Good morning, Mr. Andrews. Um,
Καλημέρα σας.
Let me introduce myself. I'm the engineering and sustainability manager of the FCB Barcelona. And the idea of today is sharing our sustainability project and how we are developing our works that we can see that we are really focused on that. We have a foundation for that, and we can see how we are improving and how we are in touch with the environmental part of the construction to reduce the footprint carbon during our works, and how to build a new stadium with these conditions. Thank you.
I think there's is this a video about to play?
No, now the first slide, we can see how is the governance the next slide, can we see how is the governance of the club, because for us, this is a really relevant part of us. And the idea is we have a director of sustainability. This director reports directly to the president, and the department has a big staff focused on that items. But the governance of the club should be related to the executive and the management of that. And in both cases, this staff and this director is involved in the strategic part of the club. And you can see in the next slide that everybody in here understand the sustainability between the cross of the environmental, economic, and social parts, and in the middle is the sustainable. What happened with the social? For us, for the club, the social part is really, really, really important and relevant. We are in touch with our neighborhood. We are coordinated with the city council. We are improving the women team. We are with the young team. We are in the social parts. We think that we have a lot of expertise. But today, our idea is to share to everybody how we are considering the environmental part in the construction. That is, for us, is really new. And in the next slide, we can see how we splitted our strategic plan of the club in 3 pillars: the leadership, the social, as we told before, but of course sustainability. Sustainability in ethics, sustainability in the compliance, sustainability in environmental, of course, and this is our global view of the club. But in the next slide, we can start talk directly to the construction of the new stadium. And the best way to understand is, better than me, a video. And if you don't mind, can you show the video, please?
More than a stadium, more than a pitch, more than a Palau. The complete transformation of Espai Barça. The heart of Football Club Barcelona, where feeling is born, where passion can be felt, where thousands hold their breath. The place where history is made and where the past is preserved. A new way to experience sport and to live it. To continue being leaders and pioneers, to secure the club's future with new assets and revenue streams. With greater capacity and versatility, ready to host major international sporting events. With the rightful recognition of each professional section, with a total commitment to sustainability and technology that blends in perfectly with the surroundings. To be an international leader once more, and to create a Barça experience worthy of the world's best team. The heart where a feeling is born. The Barça feeling.
Thank you, Mr. Andrew. In the next slide, we will see the final picture of this huge project. The idea is to build the arena, the administration buildings like our headquarters, the hotel, the offices, and of course, the main piece, the Spotify Camp Nou. The Spotify Camp Nou will grow up at the point that the current footprint of the building supposes more space than we have. And for that, we must reroute all the streets of the surrounding to obtain more space in that moment. And the final surface of the stadium will be near to 100,000 of square meters. But the step that we are considering is the first step is to build the stadium, and our estimation is to finalize it in 2026, and the final picture that we are seeing is around the 2028, all the buildings constructed. And in the next slide, we can see the present section of the Spotify Camp Nou, but it's not present today because we started the building, the demolition, the 1st of June of the last year. The original project was made in 1957 and considered 2 tiers, first and second tier. And in the World Cup of the 1982, we rolled up the stadium with the third tier. And now the design of the new stadium supposes the demolition of this third tier, build a new one bigger than the former third tier, add a new roof to every seat will have above the roof, and to consider 2 hospitality rings between the second and the third tier. All the VIP boxes in our stadium will be in that position. And you can see how important for us is the technology. The technology can join the fan, can we increase the fan engagement, can we increase the fan experience, that for us is really important. But we must understand that the technology can be joined with the sustainability, and both can work together to grow up both together. And related to sustainability, we defined the following KPIs. First of all was the climate, the electric energy, the water management, the urban microclimate, the smart city, mobility, and of course the waste management. And in the next slide, we can summarize one of these elements that we are, or the topics that we are developing now. There are more relevant, like solar panels done, we can see later, but in our point of view, the most important thing related to sustainability, and it's a social point, is that currently our plot is with fence. That we have fences everywhere, and in the new Spiralsa project, the idea is to retire all of them, and we are generating an open space in a smart city like Barcelona, with a smart stadium in the middle, and we are adding this big piece because we are the biggest landlord in Barcelona. We are making an integration in the neighborhood, and this is really important for everybody, including the city council. But not only everything is big, we are focused only in little things like biodiversity or the effect or the heat island effect that we have. You must understand that we have a lot of tourism in summer. Hot in this city is really heavy in these years, and we are studying the winds, studying the shadows of the trees to make more comfortable everything. But in the next slide, we can see something really effective related to the energy. What happened in our case? We have a big building, a huge building like the Spotify Camp Nou, with a lot of consumption during an event. But we have 40 events a year. The rest of the year is practically closed except the museum or the mega store. On the other hand, we have the Palau. The Palau is an arena with our estimation with 80 concerts a year, with basket, with futsal, with hockey, a lot of activities. And then we have administration buildings with different uses, like a headquarters or a hotel. What happens if you are considering different suppliers? Could be a mistake, but on the other hand, if you mix all of them, join all of them like a consumer, you can reroute the production, for instance, of the roofs of the several buildings in the moment of the use of that building. We are generating a microgrid that in the moment that the stadium is closed and is half day, you can route the electricity produced by the solar panels of the stadium to the headquarters, for instance, or to the arena. And in that cases, we are saving a lot of peaks during the matches or during an ordinary days. We are considering also storage in batteries, but this is a first step, and we are not sure in that moment if it is a good idea or not, because we require more information for that. And we are adding a lot of recharge park places. Around the first step, we will have 400, and at the end of the works, we will have more than 1,000 park places with a recharger, an electric recharger. And in the next step, in the next slide, we can see exactly the same as we told with electricity, with the climate. If I have a lot of consumption for the arena, you don't require a lot of production in the stadium because it's closed. The idea is to centralize everything near the arena and then route all the water and the cold water and hot water to the different pieces of our plot. And you must think something really interesting. In Barcelona, we have the only ice rink that exists in the city. It's crazy to have an ice rink in Barcelona, but we are doing that. And we are producing ice in June, but also we are producing ice in winter. And our we are always our charming grass requires a lot of heat during the winter. What we are doing, we are obtaining the hot like a waste of the ice rink in winter, and we are rerouting it to the grass, and that's supposed obtain heat for free for the grass. And of course, we have an aquifer, 18 meters depth, and we are obtaining water, and this energy we are using for the museum and return back to the environment in another well. And in the next step, in the next slide, we can see how we are managing the drain water. The idea is to storage the drain water that arrives from the roof in 3 tanks, and the storage of them suppose more than 1 million liters. That's supposed to have more than 2 days in an event with drain water for the toilets. Only we will use it for the toilets. And in the next slide, we can see that we are doing with the materials. We are you can see the progress of the demolition of the third tier. The first picture was in June, and the last one was 2 months ago when we finalized the demolition of this third tier. But if you can see the video, you have a video that we can see how we are doing, how we are recycling and reusing this demolition. The demolition, the video hasn't sound, and I can speak during the video, and everybody can understand what we are doing exactly. This is our plot. This material arrives from the third tier and for our old mini stadium, and we are settled a crushing plant, and all the blocks of all concrete are broken, and we obtain graves, limes, and sand, and we are reusing them in the new concrete of the new stadium. That supposes that we are reducing a lot our carbon footprint in the new construction. And this is for us totally new because this material provides from ourselves and is 100 meters far away from the site. And the consumption in diesel is really irrelevant because everything is really near. We can see the storage of these materials. This amount of materials is the one when we broke this all concrete. And in the next slide, we must to show how, because for us it's really important the sustainability, but we want to show to everybody that we are doing a good job. And we decided to certify these works. And you must think that the project is financed by banks from the States. And in the States, there are a lot of investors, and our investors understand the LEED certification as more common in the States. But our customers and our visitors usually are from Europe, and in Europe, BREEAM has more relevance, and we decided to obtain the goal of both at the same time. And we are working hard to be the first stadium with double certification in sustainability, LEED and BREEAM. And our goals are gold in LEED and excellent. We can arrive to excellent in BREEAM. And in the next slide, we can see our first certification because we are the first BREEAM urban planning of a sport urban development in the world. And we are the first street with an urban certification in the city of Barcelona and in Catalonia. And the last slide, can we summarize all of these things in indicators? For us, it's really relevant to show or to understand how we are growing with indicators. And you can see several of them, but for us, the most important of all of them is the footprint, the carbon footprint. But we have more or less the same surface that in the past. But all the clubs requires currently more energy consumption than in the past. And this is strange because you are making a lot of efficiency, but your consumption could be higher than in the past. And why are you talking about sustainability? Because your consumption is higher. Because the indicator that we are working is not the surface. Is the spectator, the visitor, the tourist, because we are growing a lot the visits on that. And if we join the sustainability to the spectator, we are reducing more than the 25% of the carbon footprint that we had in the past. And that's all. Thank you very much, and I hope that was interesting for everybody. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much indeed.